Hey, my name is Cody Leatherbury, Bloodbot, Misfit Army. I have a testimony about when I died. This video is about hell, and it's not going to be for like kids. First of all, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for going to the cross for us, Jesus. I pray, Lord, that you will help me, God, just speak the truth right now, Lord. Whoever's watching this, Father God, their heart will be ready in Jesus' name. I grew up in a Christian home. My parents taught me about the Lord when I was a little kid. I'd have demons come into my bedroom. I wouldn't see them, but it's like my dad would shut the door, shut the light off, and then all of a sudden you can just feel this horror movie presence come into my room. I go to school, nobody else was having that problem, you know. They slept fine. So I always known that God's real, the devil's real, the Bible's real, Jesus is who he says he is. I was really rebellious, wouldn't do my homework, wouldn't listen, chasing girls and drugs and partying just like everybody else. I don't want to miss out, you know. Anyways, I left that lifestyle, serving the Lord for like 10 years, and then I got married and things happened, and I was hurting, and I got on painkillers to heroin to back in it, right? I was to the point I was trying to get off heroin. I kept on trying to get clean. I'd go to many like discipleship homes, different things I've tried over the years. I'd always wake up, you know, tremoring, and so I woke up just like I did the day before, you know. I did my pills, and then I forgot that I had taken them. I don't know how to explain that, but it was so regular that when I decided to start drinking, I wasn't thinking, oh, you just took a bunch of methadone. So I went in the kitchen, I had a double shot glass, filled it up with Everclear, took a double shot, feeling pretty good, took another double shot, feeling even better, I'm on the phone, you know, yakking it up, took another double shot, walked into my bedroom, and as soon as I walked in there, the death angel was in my bedroom. And not only did I know that, you know, there's an entity in my room, but I know what he is, I know who he is, I know what he's there to do. I get full revelation on what is about to happen to me. But I do remember my mom telling me, call on Jesus, there's power in the name of Jesus. As soon as I knew the death angel was there, I was dying. I said, Jesus, please forgive me for my sins. I think like while I'm in that sentence, I'm already flying down a tunnel. In the first section I came to, people screaming out, they're chained to each side of this tunnel. They're about 6 feet apart from each other. They're screaming out to the death angel, let me out, I'm a Christian. They're trying to jerk off their chains so they can somehow get a hold of him or something. Let me out, I'm a Christian. He says, many will come to me on that day, and they'll say, we did this in your name, that in your name. There's even miracles, right? He says, depart from me, you worker of iniquity, I never knew you. That would be like the Christians that, you know, you walk up to a guy, hey, are you a Christian? And his answer is yeah, but he don't live it. He don't have a prayer life. He has no friendship with Jesus. So I go through that section. I immediately come to this big, I don't know if anybody's from Seattle, but the Kingdom used to be up. So like a big, you know, where a football game would be, but enclosed, right? But then make that 1,000 billion times bigger. And it's a huge room. And there's people single file line, hands on the guy in front of them. It looked like a zombie because their eyes are closed. They're shuffling their feet. They have their hands on the shoulders of the guy in front of them. And I'm watching this crowd go by. There was different robes, different clothing. You could tell this person's from the 1300s probably. This guy looks like he's from America in 1996. This one guy got my attention because many of them I'm not familiar with. They don't look like they're from in my day and era. They don't look like they're dressed like me or nothing, right? Well, the guy that does relate to me, he catches my attention, and I look at him and I have this thought. Who is he? As I'm having the thought, I start to fly towards this guy, and I end up going right into his head somehow. And now I'm looking down, and I got his arms, his hands. So he's raping a little boy. I'm in his head. I'm hearing his thoughts and how he feels about it. How he feels about it is he doesn't want to be doing it no more. He doesn't want to be doing this. This is a torment for him, and he's absolutely in torment about it. So am I. I don't want to see this. It's happening over and over, and he cannot stop. So it says in the Bible that they'll be given over to their sin. Nobody's in there smoking joints and partying and living it up, but they are smoking and they can't stop. So they're given over to their sin. They don't want to do it no more. When he was on earth, and then you're in your flesh only has its lot in this life. It wants to party now because it dies, right? All those fleshly desires, those die too, because now you're in the spirit world. You know about righteousness. You know how sick evil and sin is. Like you're aware, right? So you don't want to do it. So he must have been deceived or something. He's not thinking clear when he's on earth. As soon as I saw what I was looking at, I immediately have the thought of close your eyes, get out of here. I freaked out. Did not want to be where I was at. So I'm immediately taken back out of his head, and I'm back over here where I'm being gripped by the death angel. I come to know this is the section in hell where if sexual gratification, if that's your God, like I know it's wrong, but I want to do it anyways. You get to do it for eternity. It's over and over and over, and you're given over to your lusts, but you don't have any sort of desire for it no more. So you're going to be in trouble. Then I go to the third section, and it's a giant castle. It's got the doors, wooden doors. It's like round, right? And it's got, you know, the bull has a nose ring thing. And those are like the handle looking things, right? Bam, they open up for us. As we're walking up, it's like we're going into royalty. Is this in hell? Going up into this beautiful like castle thing. As soon as we go in the door, we're in jail cells, and the doors are open, and the people are in there. They're the ones who were the people who would have a false religion, who would lead many to hell with them. It's a lie. You'd have Muhammad, Buddha, right? So these would be the people that would be in there. This is what you wanted, right? Everybody's following you. You get a castle, but you're in there and you're in a jail cell, just like the people that were walking in the sexual perversion line, where they're like zombies. They're in a trance. But I'm seeing all sorts of guys, and they're in this jail cell, and there's no door on the jail cell. They could walk out, though they don't know it. So as I'm passing these people, these prophets, right? One of them gets my attention. Reminds me like somebody who would be with Abraham Lincoln. So like 1800s type of clothing, and he's dressed like not quite Little House on the Prairie.
Thank you for tuning into the Akuda Experience. I'm not going to interrupt you anytime soon, but I want to thank you. First of all, please like, share, comment below what your thoughts are. This is Cody Leatherbury. He had a near-death experience. Probably he died, and you will be surprised who he saw in hell. So stay tuned to see the end of the story. But before that,
you need a working capital for your business. We can get you 50 to 25 million in just 24 to 72 hours. And you can use the money for your business expansion, equipment taxes, renovation, inventory, marketing for your business, emergency business expenses, etc. If you are a medical practice, restaurant, liquor store, or moving company, pool service, we can fund you in just 24 to 72 hours. We do not fund lawyers or pawn companies and no default deals. All you need to qualify is $50,000 monthly revenue, turn in 3 to 6 months of business bank statements or processing statements, and a completed application. If you have bankruptcy, we can work with you. If you have a 500 FICO score, we can work with you. We can work with tax liens as well. And here are some other companies that we funded. All you got to do is click the link and take you to the application, fill out the form. One of our finance representatives will get back to you in just 24 hours. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. Let's continue.
But maybe like close to that, right? I look at him, so I'm like, what's this guy here for? Oh, I wonder what's he doing or whatever. I just wonder about him. As soon as I wonder about him, I go fly right towards his head and I go right into his trance. We're in his front lawn on a sunny day standing on grass, tall grass. You cannot tell that you were just in hell and that really you're in a trance. There's wind, there's gravity, there's grass, there's sunny day, there's birds chirping. And he's standing on this grass and he's kicking it back and forth with his feet. And all of a sudden I feel deja vu. And I realize I'm feeling what he's feeling. It's as good as being him. This has happened before. He's thinking it's suspect. And then I start looking around and there's a giant house and it's 2 stories and it's white. And it would remind you, it didn't look like a house, really. It looked like maybe a barn because it's just like square plain, right? And there's a commotion in the top story of this house. I don't know how I hear it or know it. And I wonder what's that commotion up there in the house. I'm immediately taken up off my feet. Now I'm flying towards the 2nd story of a wall of a house. I immediately go into the wall and I'm in the upper room of this house. And it's like a living room setup. It looks like 1800s type antiques around me, right? But there's 2 demons in this room and they look like the alligator face. You got a snail looking body and then tail coming behind that. They look like sluggish. And they're having this argument or something's going on where they're not satisfied. So one of them immediately looks at me and he's got like yellow eyes. He looks right into my eyes and he sends a message asking me to help him right into my head. It comes into my head and it's my voice, exactly the same way I think. Asked me to help him. And so then I reject the thought. I say no somehow or another. That's my response. And he read my mind. But as soon as I thought I'm helping you, he looked away from me and never addressed me again. They start to call out with a demonic type of voice. I've never heard it before on earth, but it's a horrible sound. I don't understand the language, but I know what it means. They're calling out for help. Immediately, this thing comes in through the wall, and I don't know how to describe it either, because it had a shape of like a square. It was about half the size of a bandana. It was black. It comes in, and behind it is this humongous, deep crater. Everywhere this thing goes, behind it leaves a trail of absolute destruction. There's nothing left on his pathway. It's just gone. Everything's gone. So if you drop a rock in that space, it just drop it in nothing. Okay, so the black thing reminds me of half of a bandana, comes in, leaving this trail of destruction behind him, and then immediately starts to spin up, and it just reminds me of the cartoon Tasmanian Devil. Spins up into a giant, it's at least 11 foot tall, gorgeous, golden looking angel. No wings. It wasn't a boy or a girl. It'd be like a very beautiful man. It's not male. And it's gold. It has gold spit. It has gold teeth, gold eyes. Different shades of gold though. It calls out a beautiful, sounds like a song, but it is definitely a talking. Calls out, and it comes from the chest. And I'm looking at this thing, and its chest is just vibrating. And I realize it has tubes inside of it. The thing is like part instrument inside of it. I'm still connected to this other guy, and I'm picking up that he's familiar with this, and he's like excited about it, right? And all of a sudden, the bottom door of the house like busts open. I can hear it. The guy's running upstairs, and then he flies and lands his face down at this thing and starts to worship it. And I'm hearing all of his thoughts, and I feel the way he feels, right? So he's totally thinking that this is God, and he's like familiar with it. He's seen it before. So then the golden angel talks very sweet. Stand up, get up, stand up, gets the guy to stand up, like puts his hand on the guy's shoulder, like, being really nice to him, right? And then spreads out his arm. And as he spreads out his arm, the house is disappearing. And now we're looking at a crowd of people. Says, preach the message I gave you. So then the guy runs to the front where he's standing off, like as if he's on a platform. So he runs up to the edge of it and starts to speak. And then something catches my eye. I look, and the golden angel, he's holding his hands up real big. Right? There's right in floating hieroglyphs are in between. As the guys over here speaking, these hieroglyphs shine gold and flip and turn into a different one. And then shine gold and flip. As I'm watching him, he's holding up his hands and these things. I look at his face and he starts to grin. And it goes into higher, higher, higher. Now past his ears, he does a Grinch. Wicked looking grin. Full on evil in this thing's eyes. And all of a sudden I hear cussing coming from the crowd. And I'm looking at the back of the guy. I can see the whole crowd. And it's like the volume starts to get turned up. And he can hear them saying, come down here and say that to our face. We listen to you. We listen to you, and you're the reason we're here. It's a lie. And now we're stuck here. Come down, we'll rip you to pieces. The guy at first was thinking he was preaching to his people. He's thinking this will be a positive thing, right? But then all of a sudden he's hearing that the crowd wants to kill him and is cussing him out. And that he's the liar and he's the reason that they're there. The house starts to earthquake. And then I get filled with fear because I'm scared because the house is falling apart. Just as soon as I want to be out of that house, I go like, boom, I'm up here like the dang moon hanging here, right? But I'm up in the sky and I'm watching this house fall apart. Totally dissolves. And you realize the guy who's preaching is standing on a balancing rock formation. It's reddish rock, like desert. The crowd starts to move, like spread from the back and starts coming all the way to the front. And those two alligator demons, they're coming up. They're coming up from the back of that crowd all the way up. And the crowd's splitting up. You see that these demons have brought up the guy's family. And now there's no children in hell. But for effect, because we're in this guy's trance, right? These are like 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds and maybe a 2-year-old. So you got this setup where it looks like they're in hell and it's this guy's fault. Now it looks extra bad. The little girl, she looks up and says, "Daddy, why did you lie to us?" And I'm not joking. Hopelessness is a tangible thing. Oh, the darkness in there was a tangible thing. You're moving through a thick darkness. If you can feel it, you don't want nothing to do with Jesus. He's the light. He's the hope. He's the salvation. So you get no light, no hope. So hopelessness comes from somewhere above, right? Comes straight down on top of his head and hits him to the core of his body. Hopelessness, boom. And then sadness, like, because he's so sad that his kids are there, right? There's no chance ever to ever get out now. Whatever feelings come along with that fact is what's going on. And I'm over here, 20 feet away from him, but I know this because the hopelessness was hitting me too. And then he realizes he was tricked. He never was on his lawn. He was never at his house. He's actually stuck here in hell to relive this over and over and over again. And then bam, we're both on his front lawn, standing on green grass in a sunny day. And I look over and he's kicking the grass over, thinking this is suspect, deja vu. But then he wants to believe that he's home, right? So he falls for it over and over. And if he won't fall for it and those demons have a hard time, they get the third thing to come make the beautiful noise, and then he falls for it. I come right out of his head. I'm back into looking at where the false prophets are, the jail cell inside that castle, and I immediately get shoved. I'm going to my section. It's like the tunnel gets all of a sudden bright. I'm back in my body. I knew that I had just been to hell for sure, for no question. And this is really where people go when they die if they don't have a relationship with Jesus. That's that. I couldn't talk for 4 days. I was absolutely traumatized, and I had no hope. I thought that this is where I'm going. When I die, I thought, I've seen where I go. I know that I'm a backslidden bad dude. I know what's right, and then I just got this thing in me that's so rebellious and I like to sin. I can't think. I cannot stand the fact that any moment, my heart's gonna stop, and I'm going straight to hell. I know it. After a while, I end up sitting down with my father-in-law, and he hands me his laptop. He heard the details, and I said, "What's this?" He says, "I'm gonna have you open it up." I open up that laptop, and it's absolutely, with no joke, and take this to the bank, it's the guy I saw in hell. And I look at my father-in-law, I go, "That's the guy I saw in hell." And my father-in-law goes, "Yeah, scroll down." And it's a picture of his house. And I go, "That's the house. I was on that lawn." My father-in-law goes, "I know. Scroll down." And I go, "Those are his kids. Those are the kids." Cody, he says, "You know who you saw in hell? You're looking at Joseph Smith, the false prophet, standing on that balancing rock. Those are only found in Utah. 1800s, Abraham looking clothes, white guy, big white house. That's the guy." But I don't know nothing about Mormonism yet. So at this point, I go, Joseph Smith right now is either on his lawn or he's on the balancing rock. Anywhere in that trance that I described, he's doing one of those things right now. It is the truth. And I saw what I saw. It was not a dream. It was not a vision. When I died, I went to hell straight up. I didn't have a relationship with Jesus. I knew who he was. I knew about him. But no, I was not laying down my life and following him. How it says, pick up your cross daily. And I died, I went to hell. But his mercy, he's so loving and merciful. He let me pick up on because I could tell the death angel was there, which tipped me off, so that I prayed and asked for forgiveness, which was enough to where I get to come back. And I don't have to be in hell right now. And at any moment, it says, if you knock, the door will be open. So if you want to know who Jesus is, you say, "Jesus, if you are who Cody says you are, I want to know. And Jesus, show me and reveal yourself to me. If you are anyway the God of the universe, if you are really sitting on the right hand of the throne of the Father, if you really have the name above all names, if you're that, I want to know you." So I pray that you would show me that, at least. And he will show you that. He's not a man that he can lie.
So you guys heard it. There's not much for me to add to this. This is no joke. You know the scariest part of hell to me is not the punishment, it's not the fire burning, it's not the torment that you receive from demons, it's the foreverness and the separation from God. We're not built for this. Don't you understand? Hell was built for the devil and his agents. We're not built for this. Yet people keep disbelieving. No matter what we say, no matter what anyone says, there are still people out there that keep disbelieving the testimonies, that keep disbelieving the word, that keep disbelieving the experience, the truth. No, the truth is not a thing, it's a person. People keep disbelieving this and keep ending up in hell, when God has already made a way and told us it is not made for you. In other words, the severity of hell is not made for our build. It's not. We can't withstand it no matter what we try to do. So yeah, this is Cody telling his testimony. I hope you would receive Christ. I hope you receive Jesus into your life. And yeah, thank you for watching. This is the Akudo Experience. And my name is Great Akudo. Like, share, comment. Do you believe what Cody said? Or do you think it's just feeble? It's just a feeble story. It's just a folk tale. I hope not, because otherwise you're going to find out. And just so you know, God is not begging you to accept him. Whether you accept God or not, he will still be God. He's not going to fall off his throne. You're doing yourself a favor to accept him into your life. So we urge you to. It's your choice. See you guys in the next video.